A new year, a new mindset. It's 2023, and I want to welcome everybody who is on the live stream right now and who's looking at it on the restream channels, and everybody who's watching the replay. No matter what year you're watching this, you will be blown away as we get into biohacking and this new German medicine. Dr. Eli Abela. I am so excited to introduce you all to her. But while people are coming in live, I want to welcome all of you stewards of the earth, you nature lovers, and people who are working to do social and environmental justice out there in the world, and just being part of the Soil to Soul community. We are so happy to have you here, and I can't even tell you how excited I am about 2023. And here's something I want you to think about before I'm going to read just a short paragraph from one of my books, Conscious Cures. But I want to share something with you that we did. We had a New Year's Day party here on the Big Island. And you guys were all with me in spirit. And so I want to bring you into this. And you can share the link to the video we did, which would be really great. And actually, now that I mentioned Tell, I want to thank Tell so much for introducing us to you, Ellie. I am thrilled. So much appreciation. But the topic for our show today is biohacking and German new medicine. And Abela is the person who is so at the top of all of this. She's the first certified person in the Philippines to teach some of these modalities and has so much to share. But while people are coming in, I want to read you something from Conscious Cures, Solutions, S-O-U-L, Solutions to 21st Century, because it's going to lead into this conversation. And of all conversations today, anybody who decides they have a burning desire to ask a question, come up, raise your hand, we'll unmute you. You can come off your video you want and ask questions, because today is a day to get answers that you will be very, very, very unbelievably excited to receive. So here we go, Conscious Cures. This is out of the chapter called Food and Drug Pandemic, the bottom line. Governments and economic systems have manipulated us long enough. They biohacked in the wrong direction. It is up to us to get educated and take responsibility for everything we consume and do. Each of us must pressure the corporations and the politicians to change. When we take action, our physical and spiritual bodies strengthen with integrity. Just as healthy soils create the conditions for a tree to grow from seed to maturity, our souls are enriched by how healthy we keep our bodies and minds. Our future relies on collective mass action. Realizing how our actions affect the entire ecological system and other nations around the earth, we can make courageous and conscious choices. The world would be a better place if we all ate to protect the next 7 generations. What seeds will you plant in 2023 for them to harvest in the future? And that brings me back to what we did on New Year's Eve, which I'm asking you all to do after reading that. What seeds will you plant? And what we did was we went around the room and we asked everybody to say one word, just one word that they wanted to experience and feel in every fiber of their being each and every day. So you can always change your word, but better than changing it is to add to those words as you go along. But what is that one word, whether it be gratitude, joy, ubiquity, benevolence, courage, consciousness? Certainly not chaos. We've had enough of that. So thank you for allowing me to share that and read that with you. And we were talking about all around the world. And my special guest, Eli Abela, is in the Philippines right now. And
Yes.
so she is literally on the other side of the world from the big island of Hawaii. And I want to welcome all the new guests who are on here live. Thank you for coming and showing up today. And all of our regulars, we just love and adore and appreciate you so much. Eli Abela, this is just a tiny intro, and Tel is going to pop in the feed right now, one of the pages that shows all the different modalities that she uses to help us in this biohacking field. And she's going to explain in detail what that means. Okay. Eli
Okay.
Abela is combining conventional, um, lifestyle coaching with non-conventional holistic methods such as energy medicine and neurosomatic techniques, as well as Bulletproof the signature term called biohacking. And a lot of you might have heard of that kind of coffee, and you'll talk about that, the bullet coffee, which involves harnessing the body's myriad pathway of self-regeneration and self-restoration. Her recent certification as a German new medicine consultant has given her the impetus to forge a new movement in the Philippines where Filipinos never fear the body functions and see dis-ease as a biological sensible program required to make the body stronger. And you guys are going to want to know more about her. And you're going to want to know about the things she does, like helping us break through subconscious beliefs, Anita Benaglio, this NAET that you do, the matrix reimprinting, and all these things. So if you look in in the chat box, you'll see all the different things. And I want to welcome everybody who has any kinds of questions or concerns or comments, either to put it in the chat or simply raise your hand. We'll bring you on live. Don't panic. Don't have anxiety. No need. You can do it in the chat. But we love it when people come on and share your stories and ask your questions with us. So, Ellie, welcome and good morning to you in the Philippines. And I just want to open up this conversation with saying how grateful I am that you're here. And if you could just kindly share a little bit of your background, like you grew up in the Philippines and then where you went and what you did in between, and what brought you here to this, back to the Philippines at this time and this place.
Thank you so much, Mama Donna, for that introduction. Good morning and welcome to everybody listening here. I recognize a lot of faces here, but I'm sure that there are new people who would like to know about more about this new stuff that we're going to talk about today. For me, Mama Donna, I don't really have a very dramatic life history. I didn't really have a debilitating disease or anything like that. I took up hotel and restaurant management for college, and I worked in IT companies in Canada and everything else. Just pretty much really into regular health. I was always into diets and everything since I was young. I was doing a lot of exercising because, during that time, exercise was everything. You have to exercise every single day. You grew up, if you're a child in the 70s and 80s, you would have done Jane Fonda. That I carried that health thing, that health mindset until my adulthood. Um, I would say that I got into biohacking from pure intuition, just pure downloads. And this happened when I was 44 years old. Before that, I was searching, looking, but I had this strong feeling that what I was looking for was also looking for me. And it just had to come at the right time. And it did. It came in around 2015. That was when I found biohacking. Yeah.
It's so crazy because I thought you were like 30. You look so amazing. So you'll have to talk about some anti-aging biohacking techniques. But before you do that, it's a lot of people, this is a fairly new term. When you think of biohacking, it can seem very negative. And, we've got people hacking our social media and hacking the governments and hacking just about everything these days. So explain what biohacking is and share the good and the bad side and both of what biohacking is. It's becoming a buzzword now and we want to identify it.
Sure. Biohacking came about back in 2011 and 2012 by this gentleman called Dave Asprey. And he was working in Silicon Valley. So he really was a tech guy. And so he was so familiar with the word hacking.
Mm.
And he and I are actually the same age, 50.
Oh my.
And and he had a lot of diseases. He's on the Asperger. He has Asperger's. He has autoimmune diseases. He was obese, and he was doing all the exercises. Never really lost weight. He had diabetes and all of that. And the doctors were telling him that no, there's nothing we can do about your condition. That's it. You're going to be on meds forever. And he said, no, I don't think so. So he kind of seceded from conventional medicine and started looking for things himself. So he looked for gadgets and machines, he looked for diets, and he self experimented. So at the heart of biohacking is self experimentation. So you are your own lab and you are your own testimonial as well. Lo and behold, he got better. He
Mm.
got better. He discovered Bulletproof coffee. He used that as the way in to biohacking and the way for biohacking to kind of explode. And in 2012, he started the movement. And now it's actually a word in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Biohacking is now a word in the dictionary. So he said, okay, so if we can hack into a computer by finding a loophole and then take over the whole motherboard, then I could, enter one of the myriad pathways that the body puts itself back together, and then wellness will ensue from that. So that's where the term biohacking came from. I know it sounds a little bit negative, and there is a show on Netflix about biohacking, and it's literally hacking body parts. I mean, replacing them with AI and all. Biohacking is not that at all.
Mm.
Biohacking, at the heart of it, biohacking is a conventional health program where you want to live longer. It's for anti-aging and vitality. We're obsessed with that, but behind it is really kind of a resistance. It's a little bit of a defiant movement. We're against the bigs. We're myth busting. We're whistle blowing as well. We're absolutely rebellious. Exactly. That is biohacking. Yes, you are way before your time, Mama Donna. So pretty much that's it. And so we bust myths such as veganism is the healthiest diet there is. It is healthful, but not for everybody because we're bio individual. Also, that fat is bad for you, or cholesterol causes heart disease and things of that nature. The true nature of root canals, and if you want to look at posture, you look at your jaw first, your jaw position, all
Mm.
things of that nature. Things that are, oh my God, mind blowing. What happened
What
here?
should we look at for our jaws? Tell us about that while you're here, because I want to understand that.
Oh, because if you have TMJ and all, it's all connected. So the jaw is connected to the cervical spine and all of that. And so if you have some sort of TMJ, it will affect the whole skeletal muscular system. So you might have a scoliosis or a deeper lordosis, things of that nature. So you would see a craniodentist first.
Cool. Well, you
Yeah.
guys, everybody sit up straight. We're talking about posture now, and maybe open your mouth and feel if you have any of
Yes.
crunching going
Yes.
on. And,
Yeah.
that I've never heard that before. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate
Yeah.
you
Thank
giving us
you.
that.
Yeah, Mama Donna, I also want to say that's another thing that we want to bust is that you don't want to sit up straight.
Oh,
All of that stuff about sitting up straight, standing straight, and all that goes against our very structure. It goes against our very biology. And this is from Feldenkrais. We have a natural curve down there.
yeah.
And so if you just relax, you feel that there's a little bit of a slouch. And it feels natural to be in this slouch, like gravity just it just takes you, the earth just supports you naturally. Whereas if you did this over time, that your back will hurt because it's unnatural. We are
Yeah.
forcing a natural curve in the body.
So
So
how should we how if that wow, we are really biohacking here. So so then could you just tell us, like, I kind of heard what you said,
Mhm.
but sometimes like people are at the computer. I mean, just look, you can see my face, right? And
Yes.
you're like this, that can't be good, so where
Yes.
what is that alignment? I always heard the ears should be over the shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knees. Is that not right?
Yeah. Um, Anything that's natural. So Feldenkrais movements will rewire the brain and remap parts of the body back to the brain. Because for some reason we lose each part loses the wiring because of maybe an accident or an injury, things of that nature. Where if you injure your right leg, all of the wiring goes to the left leg, and then when your right leg is finally well, you don't rewire it back, right? So there has to be a kind of rewiring for the leg to come back. And so same thing with bad habits and all of these things that we do in the computer. It forces us to have a posture this way. It kind of hardwires bad posture. So what we need to do is just to stand up and do Feldenkrais lessons if you can, just to rewire. But this of course is not good, right? We all know that. But this is also not good. Sitting up straight is also not good. It's also unnatural and quite dangerous because the elderly shouldn't be doing the straightening of the back. They should be allowed to just relax into gravity. Gravity is there for a reason, so we use it as part of our daily awareness of ourselves, is to let it support us, let it carry us.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Because
like
this is
it.
going against gravity and we don't have to. It's unnecessary.
Hmm.
But to just slouch a little, just let the shoulders come down to the earth,
Yeah.
and actually free the belly. It's important because when we sit up straight, we engage some of our core, which we don't have to. There's certain movements that require the engagement of the core, like when you're working out or when you're reaching up for something. But when you're completely relaxed this way, you can just free the belly, free the back, bring the sits bones onto the earth, and just that's it, and just sit.
Breathe into it gently, right? In and
Breathe
out.
into it gently.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is
Interoception is important.
I'm so glad that I said that so you could correct me. I really appreciate
Yeah.
And it makes so much more sense. It really does. I
Yeah.
do see a lot of, especially young people, with this different kind of head shape. It's almost like they're going back to the apes, because they got too big of a curve. So I think you talk about Feldenkrais, and you guys can go to Ellie's website and learn more about that too, or just Google Feldenkrais. I like these exercises that you're talking about. Could you just show us, like maybe give us a demonstration of one that you would recommend to someone coming in who's having posture problems or questions? Could someone easily do every day?
There's one that I have called Ease of Turning, and I teach that in one of my student portals. Ease of Turning, and you do it in sitting, because when we turn. So Mama Donna, why don't you turn to the right and left? Yeah, right and left. There you go. Yeah. Okay. And yeah. And so, what is turning in the body for you? What do you perceive as turning?
Well, it's so interesting because I'm talking to you and I'm being conscious. I'm feeling my whole spine move down to my uh, coccyx bone. My
Beautiful.
my neck is turning, but I'm present with it.
Ah,
But sometimes, like, you're right, like when I'm in the ocean, I twist. Wow, that's very cool. So
yeah.
was that the right answer?
It was, yes, absolutely. And I love that you said that other parts are participating, because oftentimes when we turn, like when there's a car on the right side and then we look, it's just our neck that
Yeah.
turns. And so we twist it, and it's ouch, painful. And we're using the body in the wrong manner because we're not engaging other parts. And you mentioning the spine is perfect, but there are also other parts that we could engage as well. Am I? Oh, there. Did you lose me?
Oh, there.
Did you
We
lose me?
lost you, and I was so excited right there. So go ahead. We were turning our heads. We're in our car and we're driving, looking to our right or
Yeah.
left.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you're turning, and oftentimes it's just the neck that turns, right? But and you were saying that yes, you feel the spine. That's beautiful, but there are also other parts that need to participate in the action of turning. So, for example, in the exercise, we let you turn the head, and then we let you turn the shoulders as well. But you have to be very self-aware, very much so. So, and
Right.
then turn the shoulders. And
Yeah.
then as you're turning, maybe you can free the ribs and see how that feels. Just free the ribs and whatever that means in your body.
It's just making me feel more relaxed.
Yeah. And then perhaps you can soften the chest. A lot of the times we cannot turn so well because our chest is so rigid, but see how you can soften the sternum.
Mm.
What that does to the movement, does it make it easier?
Yeah.
That's it. And you were saying that you feel the spine. So yes, engage the spine in the movement as well.
Yeah.
And then next, see if you can move the pelvis. Just engage the pelvis, not move it consciously, but engage the pelvis as well in the movement and see what that does.
Mm.
Just make it easier to turn. You can also involve the knees, the legs. Ah, did I get lost again?
Oh,
I think
I just
it's
love your
Mama.
Oh, there,
Mama
am I
Donna.
back?
everything's
Ah,
Yeah, I
interconnected.
think
you can
it's
also
Mama.
involve the knee. Yeah, the knees and all. Am I back?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are, Ellie.
Okay. Okay. I'm not getting anything where it says my internet is unstable, so I don't know what's going on with Zoom but anyway, how was that, Mama Donna? Was that
Yeah.
you felt very relaxed, right?
Yeah. Very relaxed. I'm gonna go take a nap now. So will you just take maybe
Yes.
I don't want to do that while I'm driving though. I don't want to be
No, 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 no. Don't do it when you're don't do it when you're in front of your computer on your regular chair. Just do 5 minutes of it and just it's all about self-awareing.
yeah.
It's just all about coming back into the self and being aware of what's going on. Because oftentimes we live external to our bodies. We live outside our bodies without engaging and being a teammate, team player with our bodies. But when we become aware, we become this powerful being.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
what I was saying before we cut out, I just want to make sure everybody hears that. It's kind of like when I'm always saying the closer you get to nature, the closer you get to your true nature, is because in nature teaches us how everything is interconnected. You got the meadow and the forest and then the mountains and then the waterfall and the river stream to the out to the creek
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
to the to the brook to
It's
Yeah, there you go.
the
Atel, you
wide
can
mouth of
hear.
the river into the ocean.
Yeah,
I,
it's beautiful.
I hope
Atel, you can hear.
I hope you guys got that. But anyway, I would like to move on from here because we are just like already half into the hour. And if we have a little longer, I hope it's okay with everybody. But you kind of talked about biohacking, how it helped you in your personal health journey, but you really didn't say like, wow, I was pretty healthy. I just got into it. But it's definitely helped you find a new career since being in the food and beverage business. Tell us a little bit about that, about how it's helped you and how.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I got into biohacking because I was vegan for 2 years, and self-experimentation. You try everything, just try everything. So I did veganism. It was fantastic for like 6 months, and then I felt like it was deteriorating, and I thought, this was the ultimate most healthful diet in the world. What am I going to do from here? Because I'm not feeling great. I was hungry and I was super thin and I didn't feel nourished at all. And that's when I bumped into biohacking, into bulletproof coffee on the internet. And from there, I followed the guy.
and from
Oh,
follow the guy.
ah, Are you losing me?
We
Did you?
might, yeah, I don't know what is going on, but you know, we're going to have you back on anyway, but let's try and get through this. And I'm very sorry to everybody. My big apologies. So yeah, so you went from being a vegan to
Yes.
a carnivore?
Yes. From vegan to, yes, actually vegan to more of paleo, more of because carnivore, I did carnivore too later on, but carnivore is like no carbohydrates whatsoever. So I had to from paleo, I had to go into carnivore just to self-experiment as well. I got my health back pretty much from vegan to paleo. I put in a lot of meat and fat, and I felt better. I thought better. I felt younger. I had more energy, and I did bulletproof coffee. I was drinking 3 to 4 a day at that time. That's a lot of fat, and my cholesterol shot up to about 370, but I felt amazing. And cholesterol for biohackers, the higher the better, because cholesterol is so important for shuttling hormones where you need it. It also prevents Alzheimer's from coming through. We need cholesterol because it's a healing agent.
Whoa, whoa,
So
whoa. This is very, very important. Let's get this straight because this is a big biohack right now. But which cholesterol? I mean, you know, the numbers when they're mixed together can be very misleading. So talk about the
yes,
different,
yeah,
what is the ratio of that from the what should that ratio
LDL.
be?
Yeah, so in the LDL, so first of all, the cholesterol test is not accurate because it's just a snapshot of where you are. Second, they don't include the good LDL because there's bad LDL, there's good LDL. So there's the small fluffy, there's the small, there's the big large ones. They don't include the good ones. And the HDL, there's a particular ratio that even Dr. Mercola came up with way back in 2014, 2015, and he said don't even look at those cholesterol tests, just get your ratio instead. And there's a particular formula that you follow. I think it's total cholesterol divided by HDL times something. And you also look at your triglycerides instead, make sure that it's below 100. So those are the more effective health markers as opposed to just, oh, your cholesterol's high. And we
Yeah.
figured that, in the 80s, according to this Dr. Simon Yu, he said that in the 80s, a healthy 50-year-old man should have a cholesterol of about 280. 280 is healthy back then. And then they lowered it to 180,
Hmm.
right? And that gives them the ability to prescribe medication, to prescribe statins. So when you're over 180, okay, here, take some statins. And just the fear around cholesterol, the fear mongering around cholesterol is insane.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is really something I would really appreciate all of you, everything that we're saying on this show. You know, this is biohacking and it's really important. Just like I read in the book there, take responsibility of your own health, do your own research and get in touch with, Dr. Ellie here. Well, not doctor, you should be a doctor, but Ellie, because for resources and stuff that are on her website too. But let's jump into what is German new medicine, because I was reading about that, Tel turned me on to it, but go jump
Yeah.
into German new medicine right now.
Yeah, German New Medicine gave us the manual to the human biology that we've been waiting for, that the ancients could not find because they didn't have CT scans then. I mean, they had an idea, a really good idea of, like, the traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. They had a pretty good idea about the bioenergetic fields of the human being. Conventional medicine just stays with the physical body. That's it. That's wrong. But German New Medicine married both. And because of the two, he was a doctor. The founder, Ricke Gerdhammer, is a German doctor who was working in an oncology ward and worked with CT scans. And he was able to collate a rich body of work around disease. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? Am I cutting out in and out
Yeah, you're
or?
cutting in and out.
Yeah.
I don't, might be something on our end too, and I just apologize for this because this
Yeah.
conversation is fabulous. So anyway, yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. Okay. And we all know that cancer and all these other grave diseases, there are emotions behind it, right? And in fact, a lot of people just say it's stress. It's you're just stressed, right? Yes, it's true. We are stressed. But in German New Medicine, we discovered the exact stresses behind all common conditions, all common grave and even the common cold, even the flu, COVID, and all of that. We know exactly the emotional triggers, and they're called sensible special biological programs. So the body has these programs that it activates whenever there is a perceived distress.
Okay.
And for me, it's like the discovery of a century. This thing should be like tens of thousands of dollars worth, but it's free on the internet to research. And it's my real advocacy to teach people. I mean, biohacking is already empowering the human because we have these pathways that help us self-regenerate and self-heal. But German New Medicine gave us exactly how we could do that. It just gave us the roadmap. Yeah. Tell, can you still hear me? Am I cutting in and out or?
Yeah, you're good,
Okay.
Ellie. Continue.
Oh, I'm not cutting in and out, naman.
No, no.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. So I'll continue. So German New Medicine. So Dr. Hammer, he lost his son because his son was on a boat trip with the Prince of Savoy, and then the prince, for whatever reason, shot a gun and it hit his son,
Oh,
and and supposedly it inadvertently, hit him. We're not sure. There's some controversy around that as well. But anyway, long story short, the son passed away in his arms, 17-year-old son. And 2 months later, he got testicular cancer. And he questioned, how did I get cancer when I'm pretty healthy. I'm a pretty healthy guy. And he worked in the cancer ward in Munich, and he was able to look at CT scans of all the people who had his same cancer, and they were all the same. There was a lesion that appeared in a particular part of the brain that matched his. And then he interviewed each one, and he found out emotionally as well, they all suffered a profound loss. It was like 100%, over 100%. They all suffered the loss of a child or the loss of something significant. Could be the loss of a parent, or the loss of a big business, things of that nature. It depends on the psyche of the person. And so he said, there's something here. And 40,000 CT scans and cases later, he collated a body of work that's pretty much the science of truth about our biology. So now we know exactly the causes of every single cancer. If I have a patient that comes to me and tells me I have uterine cancer, cervical cancer, I'll say, how's your relationship? What's going on? Or if someone has breast cancer, how's your daughter? Somebody has psoriasis, who is annoying you every day? You could, there's no more guesswork. There's no more woo-woo stuff that you need to do. Just get right to it, and then do it's true root cause therapy. Because the mind got you there in the first place. It's the psyche. And so you can use the mind as your medicine, because the mind can be your poison, but you can also reverse engineer that and use it as your medicine. And I've done it. I've actually used my mind to get rid of a back pain that all of my expensive biohacks, all of my homeopathy didn't work at all. But when I used my mind and I reframed the situation, my back pain disappeared just like that. And it was severe. It was lower back pain with the SI joint going all the way down to my feet. And I could not sleep for 2 nights.
posture, lady, you got to watch your posture. No, I love that. That's great. It's the power that be right there. I love this. This is so,
Absolutely.
So incredible. So basically, like we're talking about trauma, and
Yes.
there's a lot of trauma. People have this innate trauma, and I'm always talking the house. The faster we take care of a wound, the sooner it heals. And
Yeah.
some people have a lot
Yeah. Some people.
of trauma
Oh, sorry, Mama Donna.
or things that percolating. You were talking. You mentioned Feldenkrais and a couple other modalities. How,
Yes.
what would you tell to everybody today, like who is so far cancer free or don't know if they have cancer? What
Yeah. Yeah.
modalities would you recommend that people really dive into?
For cancer,
Well,
you know,
just for any, yeah, maybe let's stick with cancer right now because what you were talking about was the cancer,
yeah.
but I'd also like you to touch upon this whole COVID issue too.
Yeah. So cancer, we love it. We love cancer. Cancer is a superpower program. Yeah. You know why? It's the body's way of making you stronger and balancing you. Once you understand it, it's thank you, body, so much for what you do for me. And so there's a biological purpose for everything. There's nothing random in the body. But the conventional medicine tells you that you're going to get cancer down the road, and so you're fearing, oh, I'm going to get cancer and all of that stuff. It's not true. There is rhyme and reason, so you will know when you will, well, at least we do. We know when somebody gets cancer, so we know how to prevent it as well. So, going back to Dr. Hummer, he got testicular cancer because he lost a child, and his body just wants him to make another offspring. And so, testicular cancer, the body needs to make him more virile. The body needs to make him create more sperm. And so, how do they make the testicles larger? Is not to grow a new one, but to proliferate cells. Proliferate cells. And so tumors
Yeah.
is what they call them. Tumors is what they call these cells. So literally the body wants him to create a new one because he lost an offspring. And in the animal kingdom, it's all about proliferation of the species. And we still have that coding. If you lose the next generation, uh-oh, what's going to happen? Let's make a new one now, now, now. And we still have that primitive coding in us. So same thing. But for us, we have, different organs. And I mean, no, we have the same organs in terms of the testicles, but we have the same kind of biological programs in us. And so for him, it was make a new child. And for females, the corresponding organ would be the ovary. So ovarian cancer would be also a profound loss, losing a child or losing something big, something big. Yeah.
Wow. So what you're saying is you're growing this tumor to replace the child, or and so then but how do you get rid of it without shooting it?
Yeah. So
Right.
to make a child, to make a new child. Nature wants your organs to get bigger so that you can make one now. And so it's the same with the ovaries. They want the body wants you to have to make a new human.
You know,
Oh, sorry. Oh,
yeah,
we're
I no,
cutting.
no, I don't have no idea but what I was saying, because before we go on, because we could talk for 10 hours, and I really like, again, I apologize everybody who's on here now, but Ellie, I hope you'll come back maybe even in a few weeks, because this conversation people are going to be hanging on by a thread. So what so I just it's just encapsulating this, like COVID or cancer or
Yes.
traumatic heart disease or whatever, correlating in this new German medicine. What should people be doing, and to being aware of that, and how they can accept and yet at the same time heal?
Yes, that's important. Number one, most important is to not fear the body. Fear, the body needs to balance fear. And so if you fear cancer even more, it has to balance that or over the distressful life situation that it has to balance you for, right? So don't fear cancer. When you hear cancer, I have a program called I Can Certainly Hear. I can certainly heal. It's to remove the stigma around the word and actually to see it as a gift instead of an enemy that you have to kill or fight. It's a gift. You have to be a team player with it.
Since we're having all these technical problems, what I would love to do, because I just want to make sure until just pop on right now for a minute, let us know if there's any, and if anybody at this time too has any questions, because most important, you guys are here live. We're going to do this program again. But I want to make sure since Ellie's here right now and you've been on and patient with these technical problems, that we answer any questions. Is there anything anybody has in there that they want to share? Can you see, Ellie?
The chat, Mama Donna, there is no question yet, but guys, if you have any questions for Ellie, feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat.
Okay. So I see a lot of patients. So I think what's important is also to give suggestions on how to prevent cancer, right? Because cancer for us, it's we love it. It's the body's way of making us stronger. But of course, you don't, if you've learned the lessons, you don't really need to go through such a program. And as a trauma therapist, I always say, look at your relationships. Look at the relationships of the people you belong to and the people who belong to you. So you look at your family, you look at your colleagues, your siblings, your kids, the help at home, the people that that are in close proximity to you, that you work with every day, and look at that, because because you're connected to them, and because they're close to you, it can trigger in the psyche a particular biological program. So for example, I have a helper here in my place who does my cleaning, and you can imagine that we talk almost every day, and she's involved with my personal stuff, like my clothes and everything. And whenever we have whenever something happens between us, she can cause a biological program in my body, because she's close to me emotionally as well. But so you can imagine, even especially kids and your parents and siblings and work colleagues and bosses, you look at the relationships. Are they making you whole, or are they making holes in you?
Ooh.
We look at that. We look at that. Then we also look at our possessions, material possessions, our money, our cars, our projects, our ideas. Who are you when you lose them? Because when you lose them, it's a big thing in the body. And and this is why Steve Jobs got pancreatic cancer. He lost Apple twice. That was a big thing. So who are you? Do they define you? Can you let them go? Are you still you, intact, or are they making holes in you as well? So we look at things like that, instead of, oh, let's eat the best diet, let's go vegan. Veganism, by the way, is not good for cancer. Things of that nature. We look at that, because it's our loved ones. It's all about animal
that isn't making you whole or putting holes.
Yeah.
One of the questions someone was saying, which I really want to get answered, because it's something I've been dealing with for, I'm 65, so probably for 58 years. How do we hack weight loss? Through coffee, right? But I mean, it is really an interesting question, because it's not for me so much the weight. It's that like you're talking about, emotionally holding on to that. And I know there's a lot to do with the pituitary gland and your hormones and your mental state. And how do we hack that? Thank you, Leslie, for asking that question, by the way.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Thank you for that, because I have a very, very personal journey with weight loss, especially coming from how society in the 80s and 90s to tell you, even more now, with all the TikTok influencers who look good and are skinny and everything. It kind of dictates that you have to be a particular size, to be attractive. However, in nature wants you to be fat. Nature wants you to be healthy. Nature doesn't want you to be thin. Right? If you had a thin cat, you would say, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with that cat. But it's only humans who are seen as attractive if you don't have enough fat. But in nature itself, nature wants you to be robust, wants you to have a lot, wants you to have more. Now, yeah. Now, so it's a multifaceted conversation, because it could also, in terms of my own personal journey, it could also be a thyroid issue, right? When you're hypothyroid, it's your metabolism at stake. So if it's underactive, then you would lose. And this actually happened to me, because I gained 20 pounds in like a month or something like that. Right. I was hyperthyroid first, and then I became hypothyroid, and I gained all of this weight. So if you see my branding picture, I was hyperthyroid in my branding picture, so I'm pretty skinny. And then a year later, the healing phase is hypothyroidism, and so I gained so much weight, and I really had to come to terms with that. And a part of that is also understanding what the body is going through, and to just let it in its own time go through it, to understand that hypothyroidism is the healing phase of hyperthyroidism, which is also a sensible biological program to a distressing life situation. So a lot of people have thyroidism, and it's all about being fast enough,
Yeah.
being fast enough to grab something. And you imagine that so many women are trying to multitask. They're always trying to get projects in, trying to close a contract, trying to get the kid to school, and doing all of these things. And sometimes when they don't feel fast enough, the thyroid kicks in. And that's the biological program of thyroidism. So there is that. And of course, when you talk about thyroid, it also
Yeah.
influences the other hormones. So yes, it can be hormonal. Another is, in German new medicine, adipose tissue is a moderate self-devaluation conflict, so self-esteem. So the fat or the excess adipose tissue is trying to protect you, because you feel self-devalued, you feel less than.
Yeah.
That's another program. So again, you also, the body's just teaching you these lessons. Are you really less than? Right? Can you love yourself unconditionally? Whatever size you are, whatever, however much different you look now from 3 years ago, can you love yourself without condition? We always teach this to others, to say, love yourself without condition. But can you love and appreciate who you are unconditionally, whether or not you have this excess fat? So if you have this excess fat compared to before, are you less valuable now? Right? So there are these things that you just need to ponder, that the body wants to teach you.
Yeah. I'm loving this discussion. If you can find that Sacred You panel discussion that what I want to do is, because we're running a little bit into time, and this recording unfortunately is maybe not going to be well to put up. I don't want to touch anything on my screen till, just make sure, or just pop it anytime if anybody has a comment. But Leslie, I'm glad that answered your question. And like, for me, I just want to share like a personal thing. When I was young, I didn't want people, especially being a woman, all these, I was a very successful businesswoman, and I didn't want to sleep with somebody to get successful, and I was so tired of, the whole tits and ass. I write about it in my book. I got up to be 205 pounds, and I was still smart as a whip, but I didn't want to have to, sleep my way to the top or whatever. And I think a lot of women have that layer, like, I didn't want to be seen like that as even a woman. But, I really, really do appreciate this whole thing. Like, there's two things that you're not saying it's all in your mind. There are metabolic things, and I think that's where you test, you don't guess, you find out what where are my hormones at? And like our brain is attached to every, like we just learned during this exercise that Ellie taught us, and like we learned from nature, it's all
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, Mama Donna. That's so true. We sometimes, and I have some patients that use the weight gain as a sort of protective shield.
yeah,
Because when they were attractive, they weren't safe because maybe they were sexually violated, or
yes,
they were taken advantage of. And when they have extra weight, nobody can touch them. They're safe.
right,
So yes, absolutely.
right. It's
Yeah.
kind of like this really weird psychological mind, FUCK,
Yes.
that we don't need to have. We also don't need to strut around in 6-inch heels and swagger our butts. But it's like there's enough of that. But I really biohacking, new German medicine, new year, new mindset. I'd love to leave this discussion where we're going to put all your links, how people can get a hold of you. And one of the things, she's helped a lot of people get through a lot of trauma. And whether you're dealing with, I know some people on here have had mold and autoimmune issues and allergies. I notice, because I know a lot of allergies are very emotional, very trauma related.
Extremely.
Extremely, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, if you're done and you're ready to biohack, now's the time. And so, Ellie, leave us with a few words, and again, if anybody will stay on a little longer, if we have good reception, has anything they want to say or come on live and share your experience or your story, we welcome it and have questions for Ellie. But tell us where you feel like the future of health is going now with everything that's going on right now in China, for instance, we're seeing another lockdown happen.
Yeah.
So what is the future not only of medicine, but of humanity if we stay on this track and we decide that biohacking isn't for us? What is your future? What is that future look like? I think we're going to be biohackers after this. So go for it.
Oh, humans 2.0. I mean, we stopped evolution at a particular point. Why? We weren't supposed to. We have stem cells that never die, and technically we're supposed to keep evolving. We were born to die unfinished, so we are supposed to keep on getting better and better and better. But we were trained, or we were indoctrinated to fear our bodies when we're supposed to be working with our bodies and understanding it. And because we have an understanding of it, we will succeed. We will do a little French exit from conventional medicine because it is a broken paradigm, and we will empower ourselves from within because we know what's going on. And that's exactly what I've done. I've never seen a doctor for my 3 autoimmune diseases. I've never seen a doctor for my hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. I don't take meds at all. I just use my mind. If I get cancer, I'll understand exactly why. And I'll understand this lesson that my body is trying to teach me about life. And I'll take that lesson and I'll use it to become a stronger human. So the humans that will walk the world truly free are the ones that are not afraid of their biology, and they control their biology. So they steer it instead of it steering them. That is what. So what I see 100 years from now is no hospitals, maybe just surgeons. That's it. Or acute emergency ER medicine. That's it. That's pretty much it. But other than that, for longevity, for disease or whatever, it's us. Our bodies are our doctor, and our mind is our medicine, is what I like to say. That's what I see. Tell, can you hear me still?
Yeah. Yeah, Ellie, it's actually Mama Donna's internet. It has been acting
Oh,
up.
okay, okay.
So yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. But I
That's
think
okay.
Mama Donna's back.
Hi, Mama Donna.
Hi, I'm sure as long as that's your voice is being heard, that's what's most important. So really, Appreciating it. I don't know if I'm having a bad connection or what today, but before I get cut off again, you guys, uh, I think you all agree that we need to continue this conversation. And I wanted to share with you um, our next week guest. Her name is Pam Thompson, and Ellie, you're going to love her. But she is going to be talking about feminine leadership and navigating life's transformation. And she's kind of a biohacker kind of girl in the business world. So we take this biohacking with our own bodies. We take this biohacking in our relationships. We take this biohacking. Some people take it to the motherboard, and that's where the mother started. But we take this mindset of biohacking, and now we're into this new mindset in this new year. Just think of all the new things and the new changes that can happen.
I think it's really Mercury retrograde.
For each and every one of us. And I really want to let you know that my husband just came home and my dogs are going crazy. But I really, this is whoever, there's some new people here in our tribe. Please, if you'd like to be informed of all the guests coming forward, we have some incredible people, as is Ellie, and we would love to welcome you into the Soul to Soul tribe and join our Facebook group. Share your positivity with the world, because it is contagious more so than a virus. Love is more contagious than a virus. And so when we have this mindset, like Ellie's been talking about, we can shift, we can change, we can cure cancer, we can avoid things like COVID, or actually go through COVID and embrace it as a way, like fever, when you're burning out stuff you don't need in your body. When you detox, you feel terrible, and then you're accepting these things. And this is what Ellie helps her clients do and her patients do. And sometimes we could all use a little extra help and more TLC from someone who is indoctrinated and very, very deep. And
Thank you so much, Mama Donna.
so I urge every single one better, versus really looking at what our mind needs to do to heal whatever it is. So just tell me if there's any more comments, or you guys, we're going past our time right now, and I just want to make sure I connect with everybody who's on here and tell you how much I love you all so much. And Ellie, you are a gift to humanity, to Mother Earth, to the world, and we are so grateful to have you as part of our positivity community. From the soil to the soul, I want to bid you all a beautiful, beautiful new year. And if anybody wants to stay on after the live stream, I will take you to, actually, while I'm live streaming and we still have some thing, I'll show you, because it's an incredible day here. And I want to remind everybody, the closer we get to nature, the closer we get to our truth. So may this beautiful image be part of the mental imagery that Ellie's been sharing with us.
Gorgeous.
Bring in that beauty into your soul, into your hearts, and into your body, and heal.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mama Donna, for sharing that. Thank you for what you do.
Oh my gosh. I am just so in awe with you, and I don't know what is happening or why this connection is so bad or what happened, but we'll listen to the recording and we'll get it to you and to everybody who's on the call. I want to thank you, everybody who wants to come off mute or off video, and who was shy to maybe come on when we were live streaming and spend a few minutes with us here. And if there's any part of you that's hurting or bothering you, whether it be body, mind, or spirit, and take advantage of a few minutes right now and talk to Ellie and see You're welcome too. And I don't know what happened technically, but Ellie, will you come back on like in April, at the end of April or May again? Because
Yes.
I want to make sure that because I've learned so much from you, and I know I've been having problems with my computer. I see Alan, you're here, but I don't see you, and Leslie, you're still here, and PJ, I haven't seen you in a while, or Lisa. I wonder if you want to come off mute and say hi. And there's also Chiz, right? CHIZ. What a cool name. If anybody would like to unmute, you're welcome to. But Ellie, so how many patients do you see at your
Oh, my center. I call it a center. Sometimes we call it clinic, but maybe I have about 30 people that come to me. Some of them have stage 4 cancer. But you know, I can tell, I know which ones can survive and which ones won't, because it really is about the situation, the life situation. Sometimes death is the only way out of that situation. So I can't, reiterate more that to look at relationships, to look at family dynamics, to look at possessions. Are you killing each other over property or money? Is it worth it? Because your body is trying to balance you out of, for you to cope better with this life situation that's really distressful.
Yeah.
So somebody mentioned that cancer is caused by diet and emotions. To a certain extent, but it's not causality, it's not cause effect. Diet does not cause cancer at all, but there is an effect, definitely, in the whole energetic milieu, right? But it does not cause it. It is life situations that will cause cancer to activate. And again, cancer is not a bad thing. It's just the body's trying to make you stronger because there's a distressful life situation. So it just wants you to be stronger.
Right, and then you've got the environmental factor, environmental, the toxic chemicals that people have in their house, and this week's blog was change your mindset, about having a solution mindset, instead of just the opposite. And so you guys want to take a look at that blog. It's really good, and next week I'm going to do a continuation on that, and it is so important, and that comes back to like choosing that one word, like what's that word, clarity, kindness, finding something that health, and really biohacking. That could be my word.
I think like my signature word for this whole movement is sovereignty.
Yeah. No, I that was somebody at the party used that word, sovereignty, which I think it made it very, very cool that all of a sudden it was almost like from going to kindness to joy to happiness, excitement to like sovereignty, and then people started thinking, curiosity, and it is really interesting how we influence each other, and we definitely want to have like beauty, more beauty in our lives is so important. More nature in our lives. I mean, can you believe how gorgeous that is?
Wow.
And you wonder why I like to take photograph. I'm doing photo. I want you guys to all wish me well. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm doing my first art opening on Saturday, and Tel will tell you I'm just kind of a wreck. But you guys all check out my Eco-Spired by Nature website. If you need a gift, give the gift that keeps on giving. All the profits are going to Get Tel Well Fund. Tel has met Ellie a couple months ago. She found Ellie there in the Philippines, and Tel is the one, if you didn't hear at the beginning, is the one who introduced me to Ellie, and Tel did a session with her, and she has been doing incredibly well since she first spoke with you. So I hope you guys will speak again. And we're going to get tell well. Her tumor went away, and now we just need to get some fat on her bones, right? The opposite problem as Leslie. So Leslie, you and I are going to just ship over some fat.
Don't be anxious, Mama
I'll
Donna.
be happy to give it to her.
You're beautiful.
And I'm a very generous friend.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you in advance.
Yes.
Yeah, really, really great. I know I'm getting a lot of support, but you're telling me not to be nervous, and but it is
heart math.
Okay.
If you've heard of heart math, you could do heart math breathing. It's so powerful.
Okay, share that.
Yeah. So you would you would pay attention to the area of the heart. You can ground your experience by placing the hand on the heart, and then what you would do is focus your attention on the area of the heart, and imagine that the breath is going in and out of the heart area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. And the suggested rhythm is inhale for 5 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. And so what we're doing is we're getting into a place called coherence, where mind, body, and emotions are fully aligned. Let's just do this breath, prolonging the exhale for about a minute or two. And as you're here, invite any insights or any attitude or behavior that will be more useful. What can you replace anxiety with? And just let that soak in. Likely your intuition will bring you little nuggets of wisdom. The magic is in prolonging the exhale. As this gets the parasympathetic branch more alive. And you're out of sympathetic. That's it, maybe just 15 seconds more. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. How did that feel?
It feels so good. Just, it's just making sure we do it. I do it,
Yes, practice makes permanent.
And that's why we teach it, right? And that is
Yes.
why we show up every day, and
Yes, exactly.
and it's a good reminder for all of us, for ourselves. This is like, and this is something I know Leslie and both Leslie and Alan are on the call, and telling myself, I don't know, some people left already because of the bad connection, but everybody on here, we know Twinkle, I love that name, I hope I said that right, Twinkie.
Yeah.
We know that it's a good thing to do is to get into a field of doing what you love to do with your purposeful why, and then you really find yourself, and you find yourself like teaching what you need to learn, which I think is the key, a huge key to happiness, to longevity, to self-love, because you're serving yourself and others at the same time. And so that's why I show up here every Thursday, because I get to have the opportunity to have all you here and learning from these experts who are, carve their time out to share their brilliance and get us all thinking about biohacking biohacking everything, biohacking the economy, the political
Yes.
system, you know, just everything from the soil to the soul needs to be biohacked right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do, Mama Donna, bringing all of these amazing insights, these speakers to your community and raising awareness, which I think is so important. Come back to nature is pretty much what GNM wants, is come back to your nature. Come back to nature. Yeah, that's really it. That's the key to longevity, a good life, health, and happiness.
Yeah.
Thank you for paving the way.
Thank you for being part of the way. That's all I have to say. Well, listen, I have to go, and we'll be in touch with you to get another day to come on. And I apologize again, and to you, and thank you. And I thank everybody who came today and stayed with us with technical problems. I really love you all so much. Big loves.
Thank you. Bye, Mama Donna. Bye, Tel. Thank you so much.